Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Yoga with David. I just throw my watch into the distance. We don't need a watch for yoga, do we? You know, it's timeless, yoga is. So welcome, even though it's 2:30 on another Thursday, and it's yoga class number 57 with me. Remember last week we talked about the survey, the Royal Voluntary Service Virtual Village Hall is running at the moment. So thank you so much for the people that have filled that in and been online. It's on the Facebook page. If you haven't done that, then take a quick look, because it's all about all the stuff we've done in the past, not just my stuff, obviously, all of the amazing range of activities which are available online, but also about shaping the future of the Virtual Village Hall as well. And there's a lot of exciting things to come. But the beautiful thing is they're asking you guys to kind of influence the way and the shape that it goes. So you're a massive part of it. Without you guys out there, then this service is probably just us, teachers and facilitators just talking to ourselves. So thank you so much for all of your commitment and all of your attendance, and whether you're watching live or whether you do the things on catch up. It's a beautiful way to connect virtually. And if the pandemic has taught us anything, connection is so important. So if this is the way that you're getting your connection at the moment, that's fantastic. And if you're dipping in and out, then that's great, because this resource is here for everybody. So thank you so much. Fill in the survey, shape the future, be part of it, because there's a really bright future ahead. All right, everyone. Now we can do some yoga. And thank you for joining, as I say. What I thought we'd do today, we're going to work into the shoulders. We don't generally do like a specific class where we'll go, all right, today it's going to be shoulders. So we'll probably do, a mixture of other poses as well, but the focus will be on the shoulders. Why the shoulders? Well, we carry a lot of tension in our shoulders, don't we? If we think about our posture in general, we spend so much of our time these days on devices, on a computer, or, whether we're on our phones, and, we find that our posture can be affected by that. Back of the neck gets shortened, we put strain in the back of the neck, shoulders begin to round, belly spills over. Not that we should be ashamed of our bellies, by the way, but I'm just thinking about when we're kind of like hunched forward, what is happening is that we're giving ourselves a lot less room to breathe into. And we kind of know that breath is the key to a lot. We can do so much with the breath. We can manipulate the breath. We can lengthen the breath. There's a breath for when you need to calm down. There's a breath for when you need to energize yourself. So the breath is really important. And if we're kind of sat slumped and the shoulders are kind of like rounded, then we don't give ourselves all of that room to breathe into the lungs, into the ribs, into the upper chest. So we're going to work into a little bit of that today. and then let's see what how much time we've got for other stuff. But probably, it's going to be probably mainly into the shoulders. So we're going to stay here, and we're going to start by seated. So if you haven't done that now, then find a comfortable position. I'm just going to have a quick drink. So we're going to start from a cross-legged position. Nice and simple. Let me just shuffle back onto my mat. Yeah, that looks all right. Excuse me. And then from here, bring the hands onto the knees, and then we're going to start really simple. You're going to inhale the head to the left, and then you're going to exhale your head to the right. So just simple neck turns. Inhaling left and exhaling right. Maybe you can close the eyes here. Soften your jaw. You'll find that softness in the whole of your head. And as you start with these neck turns, see if you can draw a little bit more length into your spine. So you feel that connection from the sit bones all the way up to the crown of the head. Inhaling left. Exhaling right. Inhaling left. Exhaling right. And then just move like this, just a few more times. And begin to connect with the breath. Notice how the breath feels in the body. And then when you're ready, no rush, bring the head all the way back to center. And then as you exhale, just bring the forehead down. So the chin just comes down towards the sternum, and you feel this stretch through the back of the neck. Little movements here can work nicely. So maybe just drop the chin from side to side. Maybe drop the ear down to one shoulder, the ear down to the other shoulder. And then eventually come with the head all the way back, balance perfectly on top of the spine. And then if you'd close your eyes, just come with your eyes open. Beautiful, nice. So we're going to come onto all fours, and then we're going to come into child's pose. So very gently, bring yourself onto all fours. It's worth setting yourself up here. So spread out through the fingers. Have a look at your knees. So you want your knees to be stacked right underneath your hips. You see, I'm not here, and I'm not here. And then split the knees nice and wide. So they're kind of on the edges of your mat. Or you're just splitting them as wide as you can. Keep the hands activated. Keep the arms activated. And then bring your sit bones back onto your heels. So you might be here. You might be here. It doesn't matter. You're just stretching the spine out. Either bring the forearms all the way down onto the floor and the head comes down, or feel free to do this and just stack the head on your hands or your arms. Or if you want to come a little bit higher, stack your head on your fists. And then just breathe here in child's pose. So thinking about the breath as we move into the shoulders here. Deep, rich inhales and full exhales. And if you can breathe in and out through the nose, then that's probably the optimum way to breathe. But if it's not available to you, then breathe any way that feels good for you. Beautiful. If your hands aren't stretched out in front like mine, then bring them forward, claw into the fingertips, and then lift the forearms, and then just begin to rock the hips from side to side. Little massage through the forehead, jaws really soft, getting into the hips, into the shoulders. Any movements that feel reasonable, that feel intuitive, don't think about it too much. And then flatten your palms back down, and then come back to all fours. So we're just going to lift ourselves up. Beautiful work, everyone. Press the tops of the feet down into the floor. Feel your connection of your feet. Spread out through your fingers. Feel your connection through your hands. And then from here, take an inhale. Drop your belly down. Lift the head and your heart. And then as you exhale, round into the spine. So there's your movement. Inhale forward. Exhale round. So cat and cow. Inhaling. Exhaling. A really beautiful way just to open up through the spine and bringing that fluidity into your breath. So when we think about our yoga practice, we're thinking about presence, we're thinking about paying attention, we're calming the fluctuations of the mind or the whirlpooling of the mind. And physically, we get to move the body. So what a beautiful byproduct. We're doing all these amazing things, but then physically, it's so good for us as well. That's what makes yoga magic. And then a nice deep inhale, come all the way back to center. And then a full exhale. Really nice start, everyone. Let's step one foot back and then step the other foot back. Take an inhale, just lengthen, come into your plank. Remember, if you don't want to stay in high plank here, drop one knee down, drop the other knee down, and then you're in low plank, flatten the tops of the feet to the floor. But whatever feels good for you. Press into the feet, outer edge of the feet, so you kind of like tip your tailbone back towards your feet. So it's that kind of movement. See how I press into my toes? Nice. Long through the spine. Gaze just down in front of your mat. Drop your knees, everybody, if you haven't already. Keep the elbows tucked by the body, and then we're going to lower all the way down onto the floor. Give yourself some room. Come down onto your forearms. We're going to come into Sphinx Pose, but let's do this nice and slowly. So press the tops of the feet into the floor, engage the thighs, engage into the forearms, spread out through the fingers. Imagine kind of pulling the mat back towards you. So you make that movement as you really find the tips of the fingers. Pull your hands back and then keep the elbows tucked, shoulders underneath the elbows, or shoulders above the elbows, should I say, and then lift the chest, Sphinx. So keep the head nice and still. So you see where my head is. You might want to drop the chin down Make sure there's no strain in the back of the neck. Nice, everyone. So this is a lumbar spine stretch. So we're getting deep into the spine. Working with the breath. So it can be a little bit more difficult to breathe here. You know, compress the belly a little bit. But a lot of room to breathe into the heart center. Beautiful. Take 2 more complete rounds of breath. On these final 2, see if you can bend into the knees and bring the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. But only if it feels good in the back. You know, you don't want to strain too much. And then when you're ready, bring everything down onto your mat. And then stack the hands nice and wide. Wing the elbows out and then just look to the left. Sorry, look to the right. It doesn't actually matter because we're going to swap sides. And if you're looking to the right, then bring the right knee in line with the right hip. So the right knee's in line with the right hip. And then just release through the lower spine. And then gently swap legs. So left knee in line with the left hip, look to the left. And then gently come all the way back to center. So now we're going to move a little bit more into the shoulders. So make sure that you're nice and comfortable. You're going to have the elbows winged out nice and wide. And then you're going to have the right hand on top of the left hand. All right. So from here, you're just going to lift the right elbow up. And then you're going to exhale it down. But keep your forehead on the right hand. So inhale the right elbow up. Exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. So you just come into a depth and a speed that feels good for you. It's not about depth. It's not about speed. It's more about just feeling into this right shoulder as you lift the elbow up, as you bring the elbow down. The forehead is flat on top of the right palm. Or the right hand. It's not the palm, is it? Because the palm's underneath. Do 5 more in your own time. And then very gently bring that right elbow down. And then you're just going to simply swap. So left hand on top. Bring the forehead down onto the left hand. And then really engage through the right arm. So this right side doesn't lift at all. Inhaling the left shoulder up. Exhaling down. See if you can work with the breath. And then just 3 more on this left-hand side. Just be mindful and curious of the sensations this is bringing up. And then slowly bring the head all the way down. Bring the arm down. And then bring the hands underneath the shoulders. So spread out through the fingertips. I'm just going to shuffle forward a little bit. Press your tops of the feet into the floor. And then we're going to do a little dynamic cobra. So the important thing here is not to overbend, not to overstretch. You don't have to come up far. Tops of the feet are pressing into the floor. So you kind of find like the knees activate. You're going to inhale, raise the chest up. And then exhale, bring the forehead down. So a little bit of weight in the hands, or as much weight as feels good for you. Inhaling up. Pressing the feet into the floor, tuck the elbows by the side of the body, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, all the way back down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Just keep moving like that in your own rhythm. This doesn't want to feel too strong. You know, just stretching the lower spine, so be careful. And then 3 more in your own time. And then final time. And then exhale all the way back down. Bring the forehead down, tuck the toes under, spread out through the fingers really gently because you can feel a little bit tender. Come all the way back to all fours. So push yourself back. And then let's just do some nice intuitive movements. So we'll start with a few rounds of cat and cow. Drop the belly down, lift the head. Round into the spine on the exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Do 2 more like that. Just relieving any tension or tightness from the spine. And then come all the way back to center. And then just do some nice big hip circles. So spread out through the fingers. Circle the hips one way. Nice. And then bring the hips back the other way. Beautiful. Really nice. Come back to center. And then we're going to lie all the way back down onto our mats. So you can do it this way, by coming into plank, and then you can drop the knees or you can lower down in one piece, whatever feels good for you. And then make yourself comfortable, make as much room. So we're going to come back to this where the hands are stacked out in front, and you're going to have the right hand on top of the left. So this time, left forearm stays connected to the floor, feet are nice and firm. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to keep the right hand on the right forehead. You're going to inhale up, and then you're going to exhale down. So it's like a little salute, but not quite. So the forearm, the hand is right on the forehead. Inhale up, exhale down. Once you get the rhythm, maybe close the eyes. So we're getting into the lumbar spine, moving into the right shoulder. Inhaling up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. 3 more. And then very gently come all the way back down. Swap hands, so the left hand's in front. Find the elbows nice and wide, and then we'll get straight into this. So make sure the feet are supporting you here. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale down. So left hand is connected to the forehead. Remember, it's not about the depth. It's about the sensation. Three more on this side. Beautiful. And then bring the forehead all the way back down. You can release the hands. Stack the hands back underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes. Push yourself back to a child's pose. But this time, closed knee. So bring the knees together. Sit bones back onto the heels. Forehead onto the floor. And then the hands are just down by the feet. And then just breathe deeply here. Feel this stretch here into the lower spine. It's a nice counter pose to what we've just been doing there. So stretching out the lower spine. Little movements can feel good.
Beautiful. And then see if you can do this. With the hands down by the feet, see if you can roll all the way up. So you engage the core. You can always bring the hands here and then push yourself up. We'll see if you can roll up vertebra by vertebra, bone by bone, and then eventually you come all the way to sit. Nice. Beautiful. Bring the hands onto your thighs, and then you're just going to do some shoulder shrugs. So inhale the shoulders up, exhale down. You can work quite powerfully with the breath. You can go nice and slowly, but whatever you're doing, make sure you drop the shoulder blades down your back. Face is relaxed. Curiosity is activated. Inhale the shoulders up. Pause the breath. And exhale, bring the shoulders down. So if this position here is tough for you, and you don't like to sit on your heels, you can just go back to cross the legs. Don't strain here. This position, I used to hate being in this position. It was so painful for me. So no pain in yoga, no pain. Stretching, engagement, activation, challenge, they're all good things, but we don't want any pain. All right, bring the hands behind the back, clasp the hands, so you make a fist. Press the fingertips down towards the floor. So really feel the heart center open. And then what you might do is you might want to bring the hands away from the back. They might just be here. You just move them away a little bit. Maybe you move them away a little bit more. This is where you might want to stay, or you can fold forward nice and gently, and then bring your forehead down towards the floor or on the floor itself. And then maybe you can get the hands a little bit higher, but don't strain. You don't want to be pushing. You just want to be coming into a stretch that feels reasonable. And then maybe just have a little wriggle around, but be nice and gentle. So feeling this stretch into the forearms, into the length of the arms, right into the shoulders. Beautiful. And then from here, see if you can do this in one movement. You can either unclasp the hands, place them by the knees, push up, or roll all the way back up. And as you do that, bring the hands down and you come back with that straight spine. Beautiful. Give the arms a shake. Make this intuitive. I'm certainly feeling this in my shoulders. Whew, nice. Beautiful. From here, come to stand. Come to stand any way that feels good for you. And then we're going to move a little bit more intuitively with the shoulders themselves. So bring the feet about hip width apart. Bring the right hand onto the heart. Okay, so your feet are lined up. So they're not kind of like out like this. You want them lined up. But they can be nice and wide. Inhale, left arm to the left. Exhale, right arm to the right. So you're just moving. So feeling that opening through the chest, into the shoulders, little movement into the hips. But keep the feet sort of like planted. Not sort of like planted. Plant them. Inhale left. Exhale right. Maybe you bring the arms down a little bit lower now. So the backs of the hands can kind of like just tap the opposite glute. I think this one's called knocking on heaven's door. Little movements. Don't worry about what it looks like. It's more about the movement. Nice. And then slow it down. Beautiful. And then bring the hands back to center. And then from here, if you need to readjust the feet, then feel free. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Clasp the hands, just losing my hands, so I step off my mat. You don't have to do that. Point the fingers up. Take a deep inhale to lengthen. And then exhale over to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale over to the left. Inhaling. Exhaling. Always inhaling to center. Always exhaling to the side.
Don't strain. Go to a depth that feels reasonable. Try and keep the arms kind of like tucked in by the ears. A couple more either side. Inhale to center. Exhale, bring the hands down. Beautiful. And then we'll come to sit. So we're just going to sit back down. I'm just going to move my mat very slightly. And we're going to sit in easy pose, Shavasana. I'm just going to get a block. If you need to sit on something, then feel free to sit on something. It can be quite nice. If you don't have a block or anything like that, then just like a rolled up blanket, or if you've got a spare top, whatever feels good. It just helps you kind of lift the hips. But sometimes for the seated positions, you know, when we're sat on the floor, and I was talking at the start about, you know, trying to create length in the spine, trying to open the shoulders up. Sometimes when we sit on the floor, it can feel a little bit uncomfortable. We're not in the West, we're not used to sitting on the floor so much, are we? All right, so we're going to come into Gomakasana arms. So this is eagle arms, and this is a really quite intense stretch. So you're going to bring the arms out, and then it's a little kind of movement. So we're going to flip the arms. So you bring the palms to face each other. The right arm is going to go over the left. So I'll show you what I do. I flip the right arm under, and then you get to this point. Some of you guys will be able to get the palms together. Some of you will just hold on to the fingertips. That's where I am. Some of you will find this too much, so you're just going to cross the hands. All right, so you can do it this way. This is a lot easier, especially if you're tight in the fronts of the shoulders. I really feel it in the top of my shoulder here. So let's try this. We won't be here for too long. So it's eagle arms. So flip the arms. So right arm under, swing them, and then bring the palms together as much as you can. And then sit nice and tall, lift the elbows, and then just breathe here. So you might be feeling this quite deeply into the left shoulder blade. Heart center's open. Try and relax the face. And then really slowly unravel the arms. And then just give the arms a little shake. Feel it, don't you? You really feel that. I feel it here. It's really, you know, when you concentrate on a certain area like the shoulders or the hips, then we really begin to find out how our body works and where we probably hold tension and tightness. But hey, we use the breath, we use these movements, and we come back to them time and time again, and we see the body begin to open up. Let's do the other side. This is where you work out which side you're tighter on. So this time, you're going to swing the left arm under the right. So it's that movement. Left arm under the right, and then just bring the hands. You know, maybe you clasp the fingertips. Maybe you just grab onto the palms. Maybe you're very open here and you can bring the palms perfectly together. Lift the shoulders. So I'm definitely tighter on my other side. I feel a little bit better on this side. And then just breathe deeply into the right shoulder. You might feel it across the whole of the shoulder girdle. Two more breaths. And then very gently unravel the arms. Give them a shake. Nice, everyone. Really beautiful. Maybe bring the arms up the head. Bring that movement into the shoulders. Really nice. Right, we're going to come back down onto our fronts. So, in your own time, come down onto your fronts. And then we've got a few more stretches into the shoulders. Oh yeah, there's always more. In fact, let's do this. Come on to all fours. We'll do this one first. So this is one which is called kind of like, it's a shoulder stretch. It's thread the needle. So we do it this way. You inhale, usually the right arm up, and then you exhale, and you come down onto the right shoulder. But we're going to move dynamically. So we won't do the sweep in the arm up. So all you're going to do is you're going to come onto the right shoulder, and then the right ear comes down. You're going to inhale back to center. You come onto the left shoulder, and then you push yourself back up. So that will be the movement. We'll go quite a few times either side, and then we'll hold on each side just for a few breaths. All right? So make sure you're set up. Spread out through the fingertips. All right, so from here, thread the right arm through the left, come onto the right shoulder. So the left hand is spread and you're really supporting yourself here. Come back to center and then thread through the left arm through the right. So you see, I'm just supporting my head with my hand. Come back to center. Right arm through onto the left. Back to center. Left arm through the right. Yes, everyone, we got it. Keep moving like that with the breath. Inhale to center. Exhale to the side. Inhale to center. Exhale to the side. So you're just moving at a pace that feels good for you. And then the next time you thread the right arm through the left, just pause here. So you come down onto the side of the head, use the left hand to support you, and then just breathe gently. We're not doing anything special here. We're not trying to open up through the chest, keeping the hips high, breathing deeply. And then you're ready, gently come back to center. Make sure you feel comfortable here. And then left arm through the right. So you see, look, my right fingertips are spread out. They're helping me support. Hips are nice and high. Feel this stretch. Breathe into the intensity of the pose. Beautiful. Very gently come all the way back to center and then come back into all fours. A few more rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly down, lift the head and the heart, and then round the spine. Inhale, eventually come back to center. And then a full releasing exhale through the mouth. One more like that. Nice deep inhale through the nose. And a full exhale through the mouth. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're just going to do a little kind of like cat-cow move, but we're going to twist a little bit. So you're going to bend into the right elbow. And you drop the weight down and look beyond the right arm. Inhale back to center, bend into the left elbow, look beyond the left shoulder, and then back to center. So one arm bends, the other arm remains straight. It's a little twist, make it your own. Nice. A couple more times either side. Little movement into the shoulders. And then come all the way back to center. And then from here, we're going to lie down on our bellies. You can tuck the toes under. You can step one foot back, step the other foot back, or just simply drop the knees and lower all the way down. Otherwise, bring the weight forward, lower all the way to the floor. So, a couple more shoulder stretches here. The first one we're going to do is called bow tie. It can feel quite intense. So you might just want to stack the right arm in front of the left. So you're here. And this might be enough for you. Otherwise, with the right arm in front of the left, walk the right fingertips away from the right shoulder, the left fingertips away from the left shoulder. So you come in where the arms are crossed. Let me show you from here. So right arm, left arm. So you're here. Yeah? And then come onto your toes, and then you just shift the hips forward. So activate into your toes, lift your hips, and then you can just bring the hips forward, and then you forehead might come onto the floor, or here, I'm just resting my chin onto my right tricep. And then breathe deeply here. Whew. I'm going to go back to the center so you can see it from the side. That's not an excuse for me to come out of the pose, honestly. So if you're confused about the little movement, tuck the toes, shift the hips forward, and then the forehead might come onto the floor. Or if you've got a blanket or a block, or just do this, rest the chin on the arm. can feel intense, so breathe into the intensity of the pose. And then just 2 more rounds of breath. And then really gently bring the forehead up and then uncross the arms and then have a little wriggle, whatever you need to do. And then you're going to bring left arm in front, right arm behind. So I'm just going to shuffle back a little bit. Seem to have come right off my mat. So this is where we start. Crossing the arms. Left arm's in front now. And hopefully you can see. You kind of inching the left fingertips away from the left shoulder, the right fingertips away from the right shoulder. Maybe you've got enough stretch. Maybe you want to tuck into the toes, shift the weight forward, and then bring the forehead down. And it doesn't matter where it gets to. You just breathe into the intensity of the pose. And then when you're ready, very, very gently, you can lift the head and then unravel the arms. And then from here, wing the elbows out wide and then just look to the right-hand side. Just let the whole body melt down into the floor. And breathe deeply here. And then slowly bring the head all the way to the left. Beautiful. And then the head comes all the way back to center. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Come all the way back onto all fours. And then back to where we were, sitting back onto the heels. Or again, remember, if this doesn't feel good, sit cross-legged. Shrug the shoulders a few times. And because we've warmed the shoulders up, or should I say, because we've worked quite intensively into the shoulders today, we're going to come into a downward facing dog just to finish the practice. And then we're going to be in Shavasana for the rest of the class. So back into all fours, tuck your toes under. You're going to really feel the opening through your shoulders here. Lift your hips and then come into downward facing dog. Feel free to keep a nice generous bend in the knees. Find that elongation in the spine. Try not to crunch into the shoulders or the back of the neck. Let the head be nice and loose. And then just breathe deeply here. Deep inhales. Full exhales. We're going to go for 3 more like that. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Your deepest inhale. Your fullest exhale. And then one more time. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. Beautiful. Bring your knees down onto your mat. It's really fantastic work. As I say, we don't generally concentrate on one part of the body so much. So fantastic work. You feel a little bit tight in your shoulders, a little bit sore in your shoulders tomorrow. Please don't worry about it. It's just a recovery response of the body. And you'll really feel it if you are tight in the shoulders in general, you don't work into the shoulders. So don't be alarmed tomorrow if you wake up and you're a little bit tight there. I know that I have been because I've been teaching a style of this class for the last few days. So yeah, all right. Come to lie down on your backs. Come into Shavasana. Let it all go. Let all of that amazing work integrate. Maybe lift one shoulder, lift the other shoulder. Wriggle through the hips. Just feel the weight of the body or your body just sink down into the earth.
And then when you're ready, in your own time, in your own way, your own unique way, just begin to move the body, bring the attention back to the body. Maybe start with the fingers and the toes, and you can roll out through the ankles and the wrists. And then maybe just stretch the body nice and long. Maybe hook the knees in towards the belly. You're just making any movements that feel good for you right now, that match your mood, your physical state, your emotional state. And then from here, your choice. You can either roll to one side, or you can grab around the knees or the back of the thighs, and then just roll all the way back up and come to a seated position. Nice. I'm just going to shuffle forward to back where we were at the start of the class. Beautiful. Nice work. Bring your palms just up on the knees. The thumb and the forefinger come together. Feel that length in your spine. Have the little wriggle out through the shoulders. How good do the shoulders feel now? Oh, they're so loose, Dave. My shoulders are so loose. I can move them around like this. Beautiful work, everyone. Nice. Bring the hands to heart center. Press the thumbs into your sternum. So just so you feel the lengthening through your spine, and appreciate yourself fully. Everything you do for yourself, this act of love, self-care, commitment to your practice, is heartwarming. And then maybe just lower your head down towards your prayer. You can say namaste, namaste. Thanks so much, everyone. It's really nice to spend some time with you today. Let me just move this camera. I'll be back next week for more yoga. Be gentle with your shoulders. Drink plenty of water as you go through the day today. And remember, you might feel a little bit tight there because we've done a lot of work. But hopefully that has worked for you. All right, everyone. Great to see you all. I'll see you all next week. Namaste.